Good evening and welcome to this edition of the VisionRoot video blog. I'm your host Richard Urban, coming to you from Capitol Hill in Washington, D.C. Tonight's edition of the VisionRoot video blog is entitled The Red Pill or the Blue Pill. First, I'd like to start with a reading from Reverend Sun Myung Moon. Please inscribe the importance of lineage in your hearts. I cannot emphasize this enough. This is because the parent-child relationship is the highest and most important of all relationships, and the lineal relationship between parent and child is the only way through which God's lineage can be bequeathed and made to last forever. You must be clear on this point. However, it is false love, false life, and false lineage that have infested the earth. God's love, life, and lineage fell into the hands of the adulterer Satan, the enemy of love. Heaven and earth have been suffocated and transformed into hell. The world became a wretched place, far from God's presence. Yet humanity to this day lives in ignorance of this. People are deluded into believing that the lineage of the enemy is the lifeline upon which the world depends. This is a wretched truth about humankind descended from the fall. That is why we refer to this world as hell on earth. God views humanity's tragic situation with a heart full of pain. That's from Peace Message number 9. And also, what went wrong? What brought humankind to descend into ignorance of the ideal that God cherishes for his creation? Perfection cannot be found in ignorance, even if one waits for 10,000 years. That's from Peace Message 11. Well, today's title comes from the movie The Matrix, the 1999 movie. It's a pretty good movie if you've never seen it. And I'd like to refers to the scene where Neo has to decide to take the red pill or the blue pill. So let's have a look at that scene.
Let me tell you why you're here. You're here because you know something. What you know you can't explain, but you feel it. You felt it your entire life, that there's something wrong with the world. You don't know what it is, but it's there. Like a splinter in your mind, driving you mad. It is this feeling that has brought you to me. Do you know what I'm talking about?
The Matrix.
Do you want to know what it is? The Matrix is everywhere. It is all around us. Even now, in this very room. You can see it when you look out your window or when you turn on your television. You can feel it when you go to work, when you go to church, when you pay your taxes. It is the world that has been pulled over your eyes to blind you from the truth.
What truth?
That you are a slave, Neo. Like everyone else, you were born into bondage, born into a prison that you cannot smell or taste or touch. A prison for your mind. Unfortunately, no one can be told what the Matrix is. You have to see it for yourself. This is your last chance. After this, there is no turning back. You take the blue pill. The story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill. You stay in Wonderland. And I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes. Remember, all I'm offering is the truth, nothing more. Follow me.
Okay, so we're back. The red pill or the blue pill? So why would I choose that topic? Well, what is currently going on in our world and the Family Federation movement? Reverend Moon refers in this speech we just read to that the whole world is deluded that the world as it is, the lineage of Satan, i.e. the 6.5 or 7 billion people on this earth, that is the way things are. That's reality. But actually, this world is not reality in the sense that it's not descended from God. It is a world of hell. And we need to connect to God's love, life, and lineage. And Father Moon or Reverend Moon points out that furthermore, that their ignorance is not bliss, that without knowing the truth, even in 10,000 years, you can never reach perfection. So I think there's an analogy to what's going on in the Family Federation movement, which is a movement originally founded by Reverend Sun Myung Moon, or the Unification movement, but now under Hak Jahan, or the Han Mother, that's Reverend Moon's wife or widow, the movement has taken a radically different turn. So many people are still in denial. Like I've talked to people and they say, well, the Chun Sung Gyung, that's the key scripture of one of the 8 key texts Reverend Moon said don't change and chose before his death, which of course you, even if you were just a regular person, you would keep sacred, but especially since, Father Moon designated these and has a special mission given by God to carry on Jesus' mission as the second coming of Jesus, then you wouldn't alter those texts. But Mrs. Moon and those devious disciples or former disciples around her decided to change it and issue a book by the same name that replaces the book, and that's 1,000 pages less. Hello, 1,000 pages less. Just a couple of edits, of course, and includes the peace message. So it's more than 1,000 pages less. In fact, it's 80 to 97%, depending on the section, different than the original book. And yet some people still say, well, nothing was really changed, or they haven't even looked into it. Wow, well, that is not in touch with reality. So a lot of people just, haven't been keeping in touch with reality of what's going on. And then we see things happening like Mrs. Moon is, sitting in the chair that belongs to Reverend Moon, which is always the one on the right side where he sat. Well, in Oriental culture, you just don't do that. It's very disrespectful. And then we have lecture charts where normally, the man, Adam, is on the, we're on the left side, and Eve is on the right side, and these charts are reversed. Now Eve is in the subject position. So Mrs. Moon is saying, she's the new Eve, she's the sinless one we've been waiting for. That is completely heretical teaching. And that's not leading to God. That's leading away from God, away from the tradition of Reverend Moon. Yet many are still in denial within the Federation and without. And I would say the analogy to this world is many just don't know that this world is not at all, the ideal world of God. Although we know, like Neo in the movie, something is wrong here, but maybe not quite knowing what exactly is wrong. So we're deluded, as Father Moon says, in the believing that the lineage that we receive, the way the world is, which was adopted from Satan, is God's lifeline, which is absolutely not true. So the second coming of Christ, Reverend Moon comes to change the lineage back to God's lineage. But now Mrs. Moon, Reverend Moon's widow, has deviated at the last minute from the path. So I ask, and beg Mrs. Moon, the Han Mother, Hak Jahan, to come back to True Father if she should happen to see this video. Honor the tradition. Be the glorious bride of Christ. That is your mission. Honor the books that Reverend Moon, your husband, brought to this world that have helped so many people, including myself. So we shouldn't be deluded, and we should look into what is going on. Watch the video sermons of Pastor Hyunjin Moon. I recommend start with the July 5th sermon. That's a very good one. Also, you could go back to sermons from January 18th, Breaking the Silence, and even the recent sermons about Babylon and the horror of Babylon, about Revelation, the book of Revelation. So please look into what is going on. Find out what is going on. Do not be in denial. Do not be in ignorance. Ignorance is not bliss. If you've decided not to decide, you have decided, if that's not paradoxical. You have decided to go along with things as they're proceeding with the Family Federation, if you are a member of the Family Federation, without looking into and being advised of what's really going on. In other words, you've eaten the blue pill. You're deluded into false reality. It's interesting, there's analogies in this world too. Many people say, oh, things are going great. We have a great economic recovery. I was reading an article in Washington Times from September 30th about the winding down of the board, the Recovery, Accountability, and Transparency Board, overseeing the billions of dollars of the so-called recovery money. Well, as we know, a lot of that was wasted. The board prevented supposedly $157 million or something like that was recovered of waste or fraud. But many people are warning right now, many different people who watch the economy, who know about economics, like iconic people ICANN, and many others, that, wow, we're in a dangerous situation when you reduce the interest rates to zero, when you have so much borrowing that's likely to go into default, things are going to collapse. And then a lot of people say, oh, everything's fine, we're greatly recovered. Okay, well, these guys are saying surely things are going to be in serious trouble economically within the next 3 years. So again, we see a wide range of opinions and of denial. So this gentleman in this article is saying, oh, the recovery was great. This triple recovery program, helped the economy so much. But the reality is different. So I guess the analogy or point is, do not be in denial. Find the facts. Look into the facts. Look into the truth. Like Morpheus is saying, I bring you the truth. So I bring you the truth also. This is Richard Urban on Capitol Hill. I do pray for your well-being. I do pray you will choose the red pill. I do want to give a shout out to David Kahn. He mentioned, hey, the Matrix is a great analogy. And so I want to give him a shout out for the idea for this video. And I thank you for watching. Be blessed. Until next time, it's Richard Urban from Capitol Hill in Washington, D.C. Good night.